Infamous is a new open-world action-adventure game on the PlayStation 3. You play Cole, a bike messenger, a regular guy, who delivers a package and it blows up. And it destroys 6 square blocks of a city. But somehow Cole survives. He's alive after the explosion, and he has electrical superpowers. He can kind of control and conduct electricity. And so the game is really about Cole learning how to use his powers, deciding what to do with them, deciding whether or not he wants to help people or maybe take revenge on the people who did this to the city, and learning kind of the mystery of why he was the one who was chosen. It's exclusive on the PlayStation 3. Infamous was designed to be a superhero video game as a video game first. We weren't starting with an existing superhero from comic books or from the movies. We wanted to make something where we could design it to be interactive and to be fun to play. All the decisions that we made about his powers and about Empire City, the city where Cole lives, were all made to make it fun. We wanted to have a fun game, and sometimes I think with superheroes, it's difficult because they already have existing stories and existing powers and existing constraints, and those things don't always add up to a fun video game. I think there have been many superhero video games that are good looking but maybe not as interesting to play because you can't use the powers in the way that you want to. And we really wanted the player to be able to create their own origin story, to make their own decisions about if they're going to be heroic or maybe anti-heroic with the way that they use their powers. Infamous keeps track of everything you do via a karma system, and so if you do bad things, if you do evil things, you actually become evil. You have evil karma, and he looks different, and he shoots red lightning instead of blue lightning when he's good. He has lots of powers that can be kind of upgraded, and when you're evil, they upgrade in different ways than when you're good. In good, the powers are more precise and controlled, where when you're evil, they're kind of more chaotic and can do more collateral damage and hurt people that are innocent bystanders. And so we really wanted to have a game where, depending on how you play, you're not choosing if you want to be evil or good. How you play and what kind of decisions you make while you're playing, that's what decides how you're evil or good. And then based on whether or not you're good or evil, the city and the people react to you. We worked with Sony, and we had different ideas that we talked to Sony about. Superhero was one. It's funny, we had another idea of ours that was like a guy on an island, a jungle island, exploring and trying to find things. And it turned out that they were already making Uncharted, and so we didn't do that one because Sony was already making something similar. So we thought doing a modern day superhero was something interesting, that no one had done a really good modern day superhero that was on a video game first. And really, our very first idea was, what would it be like if you, as a regular person, got superpowers? And we actually experimented with what would be good superpowers. So we said, oh, fire might be interesting, or kind of telekinesis, where you can lift something remotely. And we tried lots of different powers, and electricity very early on was our favorite. It's you can do lots of different things. Cole can kind of throw a shock grenade or do a shock wave to knock people over, and he can hover with his kind of static thrusters on his hands. And so, and it's really beautiful too. Electricity looks really, really great in our engine. You have sparks flying, and the city has lots of things that are affected by electricity, and kind of sparks and lightning can go everywhere. So that was very quickly we got very quickly to superhero and electricity, and from then on we spent time making our engine and making the game over 3.5 years. We have lots and lots of ideas. We have big whiteboards, and we'll write every idea down, and it's funny because at the beginning of a movie, when you're making a movie, you have a script, a screenplay, and you know everything that's going to be in the movie. At the beginning of Infamous, we had one sentence, which was, what is it like to become a superhero? And then we write down ideas and then experiment with them. We try them out. We tried out fire, we tried out electricity, we tried out telekinesis. In fact, we took some of the powers, we thought they were limited, or we couldn't do as many interesting things with them. We actually gave those powers to the villains, in Infamous. So you'll see that some of the villains have telekinesis. That's one of the villains' superpowers. And it's really interesting as a villain's superpower. And we do that with everything across the board. When we're building a part of the world, we build a small part and experiment and see what does this look like, and we kind of take away the bad parts and keep the fun parts. We have a whole urban climbing system, and it took us a long time to make climbing really fun. And that was a celebratory day when we got the climbing system kind of put together so that it was really fun and you just wanted to go everywhere in the city. That's how we make our games, is simple ideas, lots of experimentation, pick the fun parts, and that's what we ended up with, was Infamous. Yes, Infamous, the team, Sucker Punch was about at its peak when we were near the end of Infamous, was a little over 60, 62, 63 people. I think throughout the whole development, maybe more like 50, kind of working on it from day one. And we've always wanted to have a small team. And we knew we were making a big city, an Empire City, so we really spent a lot of time on making the tools and the technology so that a small set of people could create a big city, or actually create a lot of characters. We built a skeleton model so that we could kind of design one person and then kind of say, okay, I want this person's arms to be longer, but still have that work with walking animations. So we didn't have to design every character individually. You'd need a lot of people to do that. We were able to design the animations and the characters and then kind of mix and match and stretch and pull them and then actually get realistic looking people from a single skeleton or from a single set of animations. So from the very beginning we knew we wanted to make something big, but we still wanted to have a small team, so we spent a lot of time working on the technology for that.